If you opened this video today, stop everything you are doing right now. This is no coincidence. God has been trying to speak to you for weeks, maybe months, and you haven't noticed. That recurring dream, the song that plays at the exact moment you think about giving up, the number that appears on the clock every time you look, the person who appears out of nowhere with the exact word you needed to hear. All of this is the Father knocking at the door of your heart. And the hard truth is this: most people right now in the United Kingdom are rejecting the word that was written with God's own finger for their name. And whoever rejects the word of heaven closes a door that only opens once in a lifetime. In this video, I will show you the 3 unmistakable signs that God is speaking to you right now, the real reason why your soul is stuck, and the step you must take today, before silence comes and the chance passes. And in the middle of this video, I will reveal a truth that many people prefer you never discover. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next can change the next 20 years of your life. Pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because you will recognize yourself. The first sign that God is trying to deliver a message to you is insomnia without reason. You wake up at 3-4 in the morning, and it's not worry, it's not anxiety, it's not the late coffee you drank, it's a call. You lie there looking at the ceiling and feel a weight on your chest that seems like a presence. You try to sleep, but something inside you is awake. This is the Spirit wanting to talk to you at the only time the world falls silent. And if you are over 35 and have been experiencing this frequently, know that it is not a health problem. It's God calling you. The second sign is that feeling of a stuck life. You work, you try, you pray, you do everything, but it seems like there's an invisible glass between you and your blessing. You look around, you see people with half your effort reaping double, and you wonder why. The answer is this: God is holding you back. He is not punishing you. He is diverting you from a path you cannot yet see. And while you fight with the hand that is saving you, time passes and your soul weighs more. The third sign is a tiredness that sleep doesn't solve. You lie down, wake up worse, you take a vacation, come back even more broken. You get examined and the doctor says everything is fine. But it isn't. Because it's not your body that's tired. It's your soul, and your soul is exhausted because you are in the wrong place with the wrong people, doing what you shouldn't be doing. And the Father is using this tiredness as an alarm, trying to wake you up before you surrender the next 10 years of your life to a journey that will lead you nowhere. And there's a fourth sign that almost no one talks about. You started losing patience with things you used to tolerate. That family chat in the app group, that work meeting that never ends, that talkative neighbor, that friend who only calls to complain. You look and think, I don't have time for this anymore. It's not rudeness, it's spiritual maturity. God is separating you. He is sharpening your senses so that His voice becomes clear amidst the world's noise. And if you are feeling all this at the same time, pay close attention now, because what comes next is worth gold. Listen to something. If you recognize these signs in your life, understand that this is not a YouTube video coincidence. This is the Father's call reaching you through your phone screen. God uses any channel to speak to those He has chosen, and He has chosen you. The problem is that what you are facing today, this insomnia, this tiredness, this blockage, is just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard. There is a dispute happening behind the scenes of your life that you cannot see with the eyes of the flesh. There is something trying to silence you, trying to distract you, trying to make you reject the word even before it reaches you. And that is exactly why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book is not just a reading, it is the map that teaches, day after day, the specific rules for you to learn to hear God's voice clearly, break the spiritual silence that has fallen over your life, and receive the message that was written for your name without enemy interference. Each chapter is a key, and each key opens a door that has been locked for years within your spirit. The link to the Holy Book is in the first comment of this channel. And I need to warn you, this content challenges the narratives of the system, and they have tried to silence it more than once. So download it now before they take it down. Make your act of faith. Go to the comment section of this video and write in capital letters, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Right now, because the spoken word activates the blessing. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against the spiritual silence that has been consuming you for too long. Now that you understand the signs, come with me to understand the cause. Why are so many people receiving messages from God and ignoring them? Why haven't you, who feels all this, surrendered yet? The first cause is noise. Never in the history of humanity has humankind had so much noise in their heads as now. You wake up, and the first thing you do is pick up your phone. You have coffee watching bad news. You work listening to audio on an app. You eat lunch watching videos. You sleep with the TV on. When does your soul have space to listen to the Father? God doesn't shout, God whispers. And if your life is at maximum volume all the time, the whisper passes, and you don't even feel it. The second cause is the fear of change. Deep down you know that if God speaks to you, He will ask you to leave something behind. He will ask you to leave that relationship that hurts you. He will ask you to quit that job that makes you sick. He will ask you to cut off a friendship that brings you down. And because you are afraid of the unknown, you prefer to continue suffering in the known. So you unconsciously block your ears. You run from church, you run from prayer, you run from silence. Because in silence the voice appears and you don't want to hear the command. The third cause is guilt. Many people believe that God does not speak to them because they are unworthy. You look back, see your mistakes, your choices, what you did that no one knows, and think, God won't want me. And then when the Father sends the sign, you think it's your imagination. You disqualify the message itself because you don't feel deserving. And this is one of the enemy's cruelest lies, because God speaks precisely to those who made mistakes, to those who fell, to those who broke. He did not come for the righteous. He came for those who need to be rescued. If you are here, you are the target of His love, not of judgment. The fourth cause, and this one hurts, is pride disguised as strength. You learn to fend for yourself. You learn not to ask for help. You learn that crying is weakness, that surrendering is defeat, that kneeling is humiliation. And the Father can only enter you when you bow your head. As long as you are puffed up trying to control everything, the message won't arrive. Not because He doesn't want to send it, but because you haven't made space to receive it. And that's what the next part of this video will free you from. Stop. Breathe. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you now, because this is the most important passage of this video so far. If you have identified noise, fear, guilt, and pride within yourself, understand one thing. This is not your weakness. This is a siege. There is a siege set up around your life to prevent you from hearing the Father's voice. And this siege is not physical. It is spiritual. That's why you try to pray and can't focus. That's why you open the Bible and sleep comes. That's why you decide to change your life on a Monday, and by Wednesday, everything is back to how it was before. It's not a lack of willpower. It's invisible warfare. Let me explain better. What you call tiredness, blockage, God's silence in your life is just the top layer of a much deeper spiritual chessboard. On this chessboard, you are the main piece. You are the target. There are forces working to ensure that the word God wrote for your name never reaches your eyes, never enters your ears, never settles in your heart. Because the day that word settles in you, everything changes. You rise. You prosper. You inspire other people. You break family cycles that have gone on for generations. And the enemy knows this. That's why he introduces noise, distraction, false tiredness, old guilt, intrusive thoughts, last-minute doubt, all to make you reject the message when it arrives. And that's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book is not just a reading. It is a shielded 21-day journey that was built prayer by prayer, word by word, to dismantle exactly this siege that has fallen over your life. It teaches you with clear steps how to make the noise stop inside your head, how to face the fear of changing without falling into despair, how to get rid of the guilt that makes you think you don't deserve the blessing, how to humble your pride without feeling humiliated. Each of the 21 days works on a specific layer of the exact problem you are experiencing right now. And the result of this journey is what the Bible calls a trained ear. When you finish the 21 days, you begin to hear God with a clarity you've never had before. Messages that once went unnoticed begin to jump out at you. Signs that you once thought were coincidences begin to make sense. Your life realigns, your path opens, and your prosperity ceases to be a distant promise and becomes a practical reality in your daily life. The link to the Holy Book is in the first comment of this channel, pinned right at the top. And I need to be transparent with you. This content challenges the narratives of the system. It speaks of a prosperity that does not depend on approval, that does not depend on a resume, that does not depend on anyone's recommendation, but on direct alignment with the Father. That's why they have tried to silence it more than once. They have taken down links, blocked ads, reported pages. If you go now and the link is no longer there, it's because they managed to take it down again. So don't leave it for later. Download it today now while it's still available. And do one more thing for yourself. Make your act of faith here publicly in the comments. Go now to the comments of this video and write exactly this phrase: I am chosen and I will download the digital book. Write it with your own hands, with your own name, because the word your mouth declares and your fingers type activates spiritual authority in your life. It's not superstition, it's principle. When you declare, you affirm. When you affirm, you activate. When you activate, heaven registers. And heaven, when it registers, fulfills. Now that you have decided to act, take a deep breath, because the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against the spiritual silence that has been consuming you for too long. Get ready, because from here the mask falls. The first step, the most important of all, is to create silence in your life. I'm not talking about absolute silence, which is almost impossible today. I'm talking about windows of silence. 20 minutes in the morning, without a phone, without television, without app audio, just you, a cup of coffee, and your breath. God will start talking to you in those 20 minutes, because it's the only space you've given him. And when he starts talking, don't expect thunder, don't expect visions, don't expect angels to appear. Expect a thought that isn't yours, an idea that comes out of nowhere, a sudden urge to call someone, to write a message, to make a decision. That is the voice. Learn to recognize it. The second step is to start acting on small signs. Many people wait for God to send a huge sign, like parting the Red Sea in front of them. God doesn't act like that anymore. He acts in detail. A persistent thought, a recurring encounter, a phrase you hear 3 times in the same day in different contexts. These are the signs. And your role is to obey in the small things. If you had the impulse to call someone, call them. If you had the impulse to apologize, apologize. If you had the impulse to let go of something, let it go. Obedience in the small things is what opens the way for instruction in the great. The third step is environmental purification. You cannot hear God inside a house where there is shouting, arguing, gossip, heavy dramas, and frivolous conversation all day long. You need to create a corner in your house that is just yours with him. It can be a chair in the bedroom. It can be a part of the living room. It doesn't need an altar. It doesn't need expensive candles. It needs intention. This place becomes an antenna. The more you sit there with faith, the more God speaks there. And over time, that little piece of your house becomes a portal, because the Holy Spirit begins to inhabit that space. The fourth step is the most important, and I need your full attention now. It is to surrender control. You need to let go. You won't be able to understand everything before you obey. God doesn't work that way. He gives you the next step, you take it, and he shows you the second. If you want to see the entire map before leaving home, you will die on the sofa. Faith is proven in the step taken in the dark. And when you start walking like that, something incredible happens. The path itself illuminates beneath your feet. But there is a brutal truth behind this, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Wait! Before I reveal the next truth, I need to pause with you right now, eye to eye through this screen, because what I'm about to tell you is serious. If you've made it this far in this video and felt even just once a chill, a tightness in your chest, a desire to cry, a feeling that someone is speaking directly to you, understand that this is not imagination. It is the Father confirming in your soul that this message is for you. And if it's for you, there's responsibility. Because in the kingdom of heaven it works like this: to whom much is revealed, much is required. And if God is revealing to you what he is revealing at this moment, he expects a step from you that matches the revelation. Let's be honest, You've heard many beautiful words in your life, you've watched many videos, heard many sermons, read many messages on apps, and where are you today? In the same place. Why? Because knowledge without practice becomes a burden. And the enemy loves a servant who knows a lot and does little, because every word you heard and did not obey becomes another chain on your soul. You think you are free, but you are carrying 10 years of rejected words on your back. And that's why you are so tired. It's not from work, it's from accumulated disobedience. Now understand this chessboard. What you are experiencing today, this specific difficulty in hearing God, this feeling of unintentionally rejecting the word, is just the visible layer of a war that has been going on for generations in your family. If you look back, you will see a pattern. Your father went through this, your grandfather went through this, your mother went through this, your grandmother went through this. Always at the same point in life, always around the age of 35, 40, a blockage came. A blockage that no one explained. A blockage that no one broke. And now it has reached you, and the enemy bets that you will also pass this blockage on to your children. That is his plan, to keep the family hostage under the same invisible ceiling for another generation, to keep you stuck at the same salary, in the same pain, in the same dissatisfaction, in the same poor sleep, in the same house that is not yours, in the same lukewarm marriage, in the same cold church. And if you don't break this now, do you know who will break it? No one. It will continue. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book is not just a reading. It is a weapon. It was built with the exact structure that the Bible teaches to break generational patterns. It is 21 days because science has proven, and spirituality has always known, that 21 days is the time needed for a new identity to establish itself within you. In the first 7 days, you work on cleansing the mind. You dismantle old voices, inherited beliefs, the lies your family planted in you since childhood, and all that external noise that now prevents you from hearing heaven. It is a spiritual cleanup day by day, with specific prayer, precise declaration, and the practical step you must take every 24 hours. In the middle 7 days, you enter what we call alignment. This is where the Holy Book teaches you to recognize, with precision, when God is speaking and when your head is inventing. Many people live their whole lives confusing desire with divine direction, fear with a warning from heaven, anxiety with discernment. And then they make wrong decisions, marry the wrong person, leave what they should keep what they should leave. The Holy Book teaches the 3-layer test, so you never misread this again. Every thought that appears in your head passes through 3 filters, and you learn in 7 days to differentiate. Key. This alone is worth more than any expensive course you've ever paid for, because discernment is what separates the prosperous servant from the servant who spends their life going in circles. And in the last 7 days, the call begins. The Holy Book leads you to the practical step of prosperity. It's not just prayer, it's action. You will receive day by day the decision script to start moving your financial life, your emotional life, your professional life, in the direction the Father has already prepared for you since the day He formed you in your mother's womb. This is where many people report that in the 3rd week they started receiving unexpected calls, job offers, income opportunities, family reconciliation, successful business ideas. It's not a random miracle. It's a consequence of alignment. The link to the Holy Book is in the first comment of this channel, pinned right at the top of the video. If you didn't find it, look again, because it's there. And I need to be honest with you once more. This content within the Holy Book challenges the narratives of the system. It speaks of a prosperity that does not depend on approval, that does not depend on a resume, that does not depend on anyone's recommendation, but on direct alignment with the Father. That's why they have tried to silence this content more than once. They have taken down links, blocked ads, reported pages. If you go now and don't find it anymore, it's a sign that they managed to take it down again. So download it today. Download it now, while the video is live and the link is active. And make your act of faith here, now, in the comments of this video. Go down, open the comment box, and write in capital letters, "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." Do not write anything different. Write exactly that phrase. Because the written word affirms, the spoken word activates, and the public word testifies. When you declare this publicly, You are telling heaven, your own soul, and the forces working against you, that you are no longer a passive target. You have become an agent of your blessing. Now that you have acted, breathe, because the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against the family pattern that has been blocking you without your knowing it. What comes next will hurt at first, but it will free you in the end. Hold on tight. Have you ever stopped to observe that there are patterns that repeat in your family for so long that no one questions them anymore? Everyone gets married and the marriage becomes lukewarm. Everyone works hard and earns little. Everyone gets sick at the same age. Everyone experiences the same kind of disappointment. This is not destiny. This is what the Bible calls iniquity that passes from father to child. And there is a way to break it. I will teach you. The first movement is recognition. You need to name the pattern. It is not a shame to recognize that no one in your family prospered. It is not a betrayal to recognize that everyone in your family was hurt. Naming is the first step to freedom. As long as no one speaks aloud, the pattern works in the dark. When you speak, you bring it out of the shadows and into the light. And in the light, the enemy loses strength. The second movement is forgiveness. And this will hurt. You need to forgive those who hurt you in your family. An absent father, a harsh mother, a sibling who deceived you, an uncle who hurt you, a grandmother who abandoned you. If you don't forgive, you remain bound by an invisible chain to that pain, and the same thing will repeat in your story. To forgive is not to say they were right. To forgive is to cut the chain. It is to give you back your freedom. It is to refuse to be the next link in the suffering. The third movement is the declaration of the new covenant. You stop today, at some point in your day, and declare aloud that from now on, your story is written by God, and not by your family's pattern. You say, I break in the name of Jesus every financial curse, every relational curse, every curse of illness that came through my bloodline. And I declare that from me begins a new generation, a generation of prosperity, health, peace, alignment with the Father. This declaration changes the spiritual structure of your life in seconds. The fourth movement is consistency. One declaration is not enough. You need to keep this new identity alive every day. And that is exactly what the next part of the video will show you in detail. Because there is one last truth about the message God wrote for you that many people will never tell you. And it's now. Stop everything now, because what I'm about to tell you here is the most important passage of this entire video. If you've made it this far, if you've managed to listen to all of this without skipping, without closing, without getting distracted, understand one thing. This is confirmation. The Father is holding you in your chair, on your bed, on your sofa, on the bus you are on right now, because He wants to ensure that you receive what comes next. And what comes next is the difference between you continuing to be just another stuck, tired, indebted, hurt Briton, or becoming the member of your family who broke the pattern and rewrote history for the next 3 generations. Let me talk to you with an open heart. You are over 35 years old today. You look back and see lost time. You look around and see people who have passed you by. You look at your children, if you have any, and feel that tightness in your chest, wanting to give them more than you have been able to give so far. You look at your aging parents, if they are still alive, and wish you could ease their lives before time runs out. You look at yourself in the mirror and don't recognize the person there, because along the way you yielded, you swallowed, you accepted less than you deserved, and now that strange longing for the person you wanted to be has hit you. Pay attention now. This pain you are feeling right now, this mixture of anger, sadness, urgency, disguised despair, this is not depression. This is the Spirit of God knocking at your door with a force He has never knocked with before. He is saying, wake up, my son, my daughter, your time has come. And this is where things get serious. Because everything you are facing right now is just the top layer of a spiritual chessboard, much, much deeper than you imagine. Let's peel back the layers one by one for you to understand where you are stepping. The first layer is what you see. It's the overdue bill. It's the marriage that turned into routine. It's the body that aches. It's the child who worries you. It's the suffocating job. This is the most superficial layer, and it's where most people get stuck. They fight with the top layer and never get to the bottom of the board. The second layer is emotional. This is where old hurts reside. Disappointment with God, self-anger, fear of the future, longing for those who left, guilt over what you did or failed to do. This layer, when not treated, contaminates everything above. You think you're fighting with the bill, but in reality you're fighting with a 15-year-old hurt. You think you're worried about your child, but in reality you're reproducing the fear your mother had for you when you were that same age. The third layer is generational. Here things start to heat up. In this layer resides everything that came from your family and that you received without realizing it. If your great-grandfather lost everything in a tragedy and never rebuilt, that energy of loss still circulates in your lineage. If your grandmother lived in an unhappy marriage for fear of being alone, that energy of resignation still weighs on your chest when you think about changing. If your father spent his life working hard and never received recognition, that energy of effort without harvest still haunts your career. And it is here that many people discover that they were not fighting against themselves. They were fighting against 3, 4, 5 generations that passed on the baton of pain without anyone wanting to take it. And there is a fourth layer, which is the deepest and most dangerous. It is the spiritual layer. This is where forces that have no name but have intention move to keep you exactly where you are. They work 24 hours a day. They use any channel. They place the right thought at the wrong time, the wrong desire at the right time, the wrong person at the exact moment. They set traps with surgical detail, and you, without knowing you are in the middle of a war, fight as if it were your own battle, when in reality it is a mounted siege. In this layer, the target is not your bank account. The target is your calling, because the enemy knows that if you awaken, you will not only raise your own house but the houses of those around you, and that he cannot allow. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book is not just a reading. It is the complete map to cross these 4 layers and reach the core of your blessing. Let me explain in detail what happens in each of the 3 weeks of this journey, because I need you to have total clarity about what you are receiving. In the first week, from day 1 to day 7, you enter the dismantling phase. This is the week you learn to identify with precision all the voices that speak in your head today that are not yours. You currently have an average of 30 to 40 thoughts per hour, and most of them were not created by you. They were planted by your father, by your mother, by your teacher, by television, by the pastor, by the politician, by your neighbor, by the app. The Holy Book teaches you, with a very clear and simple technique, how to separate who is thinking inside you. And when you make this separation, only one voice remains, yours united with the Father's. And this voice is serene, firm, loving, direct. It is the voice of your calling. In this same first week, the Holy Book works on your sleep. Many people describe that by the 3rd night they start sleeping differently, with dreams that bring answers, with rest that truly renews, and the 3 a.m. insomnia simply stops. It's not magic. It's what happens when your body understands that your soul has stopped fighting. Calm enters and sleep follows. Still, in the first week, spiritual financial cleansing is done. Many people don't know it, but money has energy. And if you received a scarcity program from your family, you can earn $100,000 a month and still be distressed, because your spiritual field is tuned to fear. The Holy Book teaches, on day 6 and day 7, the exact exercise for recalibrating this frequency. It's simple to do. You do it in 10 minutes, and the result begins to appear within 72 hours. In the 2nd week, from day 8 to day 14, you enter the heart of the journey, which is alignment. This is where the turning point begins. You learn day by day the 3-layer technique to recognize the voice of God. Every thought that appears in your head passes through 3 filters. First filter: does this thought generate peace or affliction? If it generates immediate affliction, even if it seems good, it is not from the Father. Second filter: does this thought call me to grow or to hide? If it is to hide, even if it seems like wisdom, it is not from the Father. Third filter: does this thought come with a practical step, or does it just leave me circling in my head? If it just circles and doesn't point to action, it is not from the Father. When a thought passes through all 3 filters, you have confirmation. And then you act without fear because you know you are in the right hands. In this same week, the Holy Book works on your relationship with money in practice. It shows the map of conscious tithing, which is different from what many people teach. It's not giving out of obligation. It's not giving out of fear of punishment. It's planting out of conviction of blessing. And it also shows the key to multiplication that Jesus used with the loaves and fishes. This key is applicable to any area of your life. You learn to operate it in your income, your time, your relationships, and the result is a feeling of abundance that does not depend on your balance. Still in the second week there is day 12, which is known as the day of the declaration of new identity. On this day you will declare aloud, with heaven as your witness, who you are from then on. This declaration changes the spiritual structure of your life. Many people report that from day 12 onwards, positive coincidences begin to happen that never stop. Job calls, business ideas, family reconciliation, healing of old relationships, resolution of debt issues. This happens because when you declare the new identity, the universe, which is obedient to the Father's word, begins to organize itself to serve this new identity. In the third week, from day 15 to day 21, you enter the most powerful phase, which is the calling. Here the Holy Book gives you the practical roadmap to begin living prosperity in action, and not just in thought. It teaches you how to identify the 3 doors that God opened for you, but you haven't seen them yet, because they were in front of you and you looked over them. Many people spend their lives looking for blessings far away, when the blessing was right beside them, waiting to be seen. The Holy Book opens your eyes. You learn in the third week the Yes of Faith method. It is the method of taking the first step before seeing the second. Many people get stuck their whole lives waiting to see the complete plan before acting. God does not work that way. He gives you the next step, you take it, He gives you the next. The Holy Book accompanies you in this learning with daily exercises, starting small, so you can build the spiritual muscle of trust. On day 18, you perform the door-opening prayer, which is an ancient prayer, taken from biblical tradition, known only to those who study deeply. This prayer is done once, and it activates doors that have been locked in your life for years, sometimes decades. On day 21, the last day of the journey, you perform the sealing. This is the day you close the cycle with the Father in a personal and written covenant. You write in your own handwriting the covenant of prosperity with God. This covenant becomes a permanent anchor. Every time you are tempted to return to the old pattern, this covenant will pull you back to the new identity. And that is how change takes hold. Without magic, without cheap mysticism, without empty promises, with proven spiritual structure and practical steps. The link to the Holy Book is in the first pinned comment of this channel, at the top of the comment box of this video. If you didn't find it at first, look again, refresh the page. Look for the channel's comment with the pinned marker. It is there. And if it's there, it's because it's still available. Because look, I need to be very transparent with you. This content challenges the narratives of the system. It speaks of a prosperity that doesn't ask for permission, of a connection with God that dispenses with any intermediary, and of a breaking of family patterns that many people earn a lot of money in consulting rooms, lectures and expensive courses never to teach. They have already tried to silence this content. They have taken down links. They have blocked ads. They have reported pages. They have sent messages trying to discredit it. If you go now and the link is still working, it's because the Father is holding this access for you. Don't underestimate this moment. Download it now, today, before you sleep, before you leave for work, before anything else. Because tomorrow it may no longer be available, and what you didn't do today may no longer be in your hand tomorrow. And now comes your act of faith, the most important part of this video. Go down to the comment box of this video, open it now as you listen to me, and write in capital letters, with your own profile name listed there in the comment, the exact phrase, "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." Do not write with abbreviations. Do not write with emojis in place of words. Write it as it is, because this is the phrase that activates the key. When you declare publicly, 3 things happen at the same time, and your life needs all 3. First thing, heaven registers your commitment. There is a book in heaven called the Book of Life, and there is a record that is made when a child decides to rise. When you type this phrase, your name gets a marker that changes your script from now on. Second thing, your own soul affirms itself. Your soul needs to hear you saying aloud or in writing who you are now. As long as you just keep thinking, your soul doubts. When you declare, your soul believes and begins to work in your favor. Third thing, the forces working against you receive notice that you are no longer a passive target. You have gained posture. You have become an agent. And when the enemy understands that you have changed position, he changes strategy, and in this displacement, openings arise that did not exist before. And through these openings, your blessing enters. Do this now. Don't wait for the end of the video. Right now, as you listen to me, then come back and keep listening. Because the next truth I will tell you, now that you have positioned yourself, will be the final blow against the cruelest lie ever planted in your life. And this lie is the reason you have not yet fully received what God set aside for you since before you were born. Get ready, because what comes now is the closing of the video, but it is also the opening of your new story. The cruelest lie ever planted in you is that you have already lost time, that at this point in life it's too late, that your moment has passed, and now you just have to manage what's left. That is a lie from hell. The entire Bible is filled with people who only truly began to live after 35, 40, 50. Abraham only had the child of promise close to 100. Moses only led the people after 80. And you, at 35, 40, 50, 60, thinking it's over. It's not. Your true time is beginning now, and this message reached you because the Father wants you to enter this new time with the right foot. Do not reject this word. Do not do what most people will do, which is to watch this video, get emotional, feel everything, and wake up tomorrow as if nothing happened. That person is not you. You are different. You made it this far, to the final minute, because you have a calling, and an ignored calling turns into remorse in old age. So do this. Go now to the first pinned comment of this channel and download the Holy Book, the 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. Download it today, start tomorrow, and in 21 days, you tell me how your life is. Come back to this video and write in the comments your before and after. And after that, also leave a heart on the video, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, because every week the Father uses me to bring a new word written for specific names, and you won't want to miss the next one. Also, comment below what was the strongest sign you recognized in this video, so I can pray for your case specifically, and so that other brothers and sisters can also intercede for you in the comments. A community praying together moves mountains. And remember, I am chosen and I will download the digital book. Write that phrase now if you haven't already. May the Father's peace seal every word your soul has just received. Amen.